We haven't heard much from the developers since June. Previous timeframes for new content were missed, and the current state of the game and future plans were kept in the shadows. A few days ago, Corepunk developers decided it was time and shared a big post with lots of details about different types of upcoming content. They even provided a roadmap. I won't cover all the details since, for example, I already covered runes half a year ago, so what's the point of doing it again and taking your time? I'll cover all the details once the content is released, rest assured. For now, I'll quickly go through the most important parts from their post and share the approximate release timeframes for certain types of content. But the most important thing about these timeframes was stressed by the developers. You can see it right now on the screen. I think it's very important message regarding possible player expectations. I'll provide visuals related to certain upcoming content while talking about it, but you won't miss much if you just want to listen while doing other things. If you're interested in anything specific, timestamps are included, so feel free to jump around. And of course, Merry Christmas! In the coming year, I'd like to wish you many moments that will make you smile. Let's start. The post started with a message that isn't actually about the game, but from my point of view about something far more important than Corepunk. Reading it, I understand that behind these words are ordinary humans like us, who have good and bad times, who struggle sometimes just like we do. I felt something inside while reading, and I'd like to encourage you to read this part yourself. Regarding Corepunk, many questions have been raised about its open world. The developer's intention to build the game around a seamless open world and make it the center of all gameplay wasn't matching what they were actually doing this year. Bosses became instanced content, battlegrounds and arenas were made instanced, Prison Island was instanced initially, and the depot was hurt by the loot distribution system. So their main intention was in danger, but in the post they stressed that this is still their main goal, and what they've prepared for us should prove it. 5 new locations will be released in the future as part of the open world. The right side of the map featured the long-awaited depot dungeon with classic mechanics. You progress from one boss to the next until you reach the final challenge. The depot is a large raid dungeon consisting of 5 sub-zones and 7 bosses in total. It's designed for solo, duo, party and 12-player raid formats. At the bottom we can see something similar to Prison Island but much bigger, with new gameplay, monsters and cool points of interest for exploration and capture. The current Prison Island will be improved based on player feedback. But personally, I still find it hard to understand whether the current instanced island will be removed and replaced with the open world one, or if the new Prison Island-like location will be separate content while the current Prison Island stays but gets improved. I think we'll get answers once the content releases or developers share more details. For the other 3 locations, 1 to the left and 2 on top, I don't have many details, but they'll be unique with their own terrains and monsters inhabiting their areas. According to developers, we can expect the updated Prison Island dungeon gameplay in mid-January and the new depot location at the end of January. The new huge open-world Prison Island team location arrives at the end of February, and the other 3 locations come in early and mid-spring. Alongside new biomes, new points of interest will be added throughout the open world, making it more alive. Guilds are coming, initially kept at 24 members but expandable later. Guild Wars will bring even more action to the open world through different activities. The open world PvE and PvP system will be reworked. For example, if you set PvE status in River and venture out, you'll only see other PvE players and you won't be able to change your status outside safe zones. Same for PvP, you set PvP status in a safe zone and outside of it you'll only see other players ready to fight. The karma system will be removed. It's strange to see such a system because as a developer you won't always be able to satisfy all types of gamers. I can hardly recall any MMORPG with such strict separation. What about loot differences between these 2 modes? To participate in Guild Wars, do you have to switch on PvP status? Such strict player separation may negatively impact the MMORPG, but this is just my opinion, we'll see how it goes. Regarding timeframes, open world activities and changes to PvE, PvP mode and open world rules, end of February. Guilds, early spring, guild wars, mid-spring. Loot, crafting, gathering and economy rebalance are also happening at the end of February. Developers want to make gathering a standalone activity and shift emphasis toward player-crafted items, rebalancing current loot tables and the economy this way. The nearest new content developers want to deliver before New Year includes new duostat artifacts, active runes, and artifact perks. Duostat is straightforward. We have triple stat types, we have monostat, and now we are getting duostat. The reason to add even more artifacts is the artifact perks, unique bonuses each tier 3 artifact will possess. It's important to mention that if you equip 2 identical artifacts, only one bonus will work. So the game encourages you to equip 6 different artifacts to gain the most advantages during the gearing process. Active runes skip the system that was introduced a while ago. You insert it into the artifact and get a new skill. It has its own upgraded and overclocked versions. But you'll have to take a certain type of passive talent tree and possess a certain amount of specific main stat to activate this rune. The interesting thing is that active runes will replace the unique artifact perk when inserted into it. The question is whether passive runes we have right now are going to replace perks too. I think we'll know soon. Moreover, in February we are going to get more active runes, but some of them will be tied to certain hero classes. Here is another important detail about artifacts. Many players provided feedback, mostly negative, about the difficulty of rolling necessary secondary stats. Developers heard us and are planning to provide a system similar to forging passive talents. You'll be able to forge a specific secondary stat, but in return, artifacts will lose durability slightly faster compared to those with just forged passive talents. We can also expect new main chip variations with different perk types. I read the description for each one and didn't notice big differences between them. It's like when you hit the target, something happens and you deal more damage. You can provide more damage or control to the enemy, but nothing to improve your defenses or healing. So I don't fully understand the idea to add many similar types of chips, but again, that's my personal impression. One more small detail, developers are going to provide tags for all types of talents, skills and gear. I like it because it will help standardize and systemize everything in the game into one cohesive system. Forging secondary affixes is expected at the end of January, tags in mid-January and new chips in mid-February. A big part of the post focused on open world and gear. I've covered the most important part, so let's talk about another future system. We are going to see battle passes soon, mid-January, but from my point of view, this isn't a battle pass in the traditional sense. It's going to be a task list for each part of endgame activities with their own rewards. For example, you'll have 10 tasks related to battlegrounds. By completing these tasks, you unlock rewards from the battleground list. If you go to Prison Island, you'll have a different task list and receive different rewards by completing them. The closest system I can think of is Albion Online Journal. It has different types of activities and task lists you can complete for rewards. Here are the important details. Battle passes will be free for everyone with all rewards accessible at no cost, but only during the active season. For example, when Season 2 starts, the Season 1 Battle Pass will be replaced. The Season 1 Battle Pass will then be added to the in-game shop. So if you miss Season 1 but want certain rewards from it, you can buy it and still earn those rewards. Purchased Battle Passes have no expiration date and will remain available in your list of owned Battle Passes. This is great because, for example, if you played Guild Wars but didn't complete certain tasks, your progress won't disappear when the season ends. You can buy the Battle Pass and finish the tasks whenever it's convenient for you. Occasionally, the in-game store will offer exclusive Battle Passes that can only be purchased. Battle Passes will not include gameplay items or in-game currency. Those will remain tied to gameplay only. And of course, there will be plenty of skins that fit the overall Corepunk style. To summarize, I understand that developers need to earn money after release to continue supporting the game and make it a profitable business. They've said they are still searching for the best monetization model, this isn't their final vision. Still, the system they've proposed raises some questions. Few players will buy battle passes since all rewards are free, just play and get what you want. Battle passes work differently in other games, so there is some confusion here. Many questions remain, but I'm sure developers will refine the system after release based on player feedback and their own monetization vision. Let's quickly go through other future improvements to the game. We are going to receive new types of battlegrounds, FFA and asymmetrical modes where one team protects something while the other tries to steal it. Full loot PvP transforms into hardcore modes. Developers said that dungeons will no longer be full loot by default, and you'll be able to run them without risking your equipped gear. Only inventory items will drop on death. But the next sentence says insurance keys will not work in hardcore modes. So, if dungeons are no longer full loot by default, why do we still have insurance keys? Another important detail, developers are keeping the system where hardcore mode has better loot tables than default mode. To summarize, I don't see any changes except the hardcore naming. Ladders. In the near future we'll have ladders for every type of activity, including crafting and gathering, for a competitive and fun gameplay experience. We'll be able to forge dungeon keycards with unique affixes, and therefore unique rewards after completing these dungeons. A complex but user-friendly tool will be built inside the game for build-making purposes. The partner program will be improved for those making content about Corepunk. Obviously, YouTube videos and Twitch streams will be considered, but also fan sites, guides, events and translations. Which is definitely great, because different people see content creation in different ways, so it's great to recognize everyone regardless of content type. And that's pretty much it. The full roadmap is on the screen. Pause to check the timeframes. Keep in mind these are expected dates. Based on the developer's track record with releasing new content, I find it hard to believe they'll meet even a small part of this schedule. However, I really appreciate their acknowledgement of missing deadlines and their commitment to take more responsibility with the Corepunk community. As they said, the pipeline inevitably moves forward, and while production often lags behind the ideal schedule, it does get completed in full. I think it's enough for me. Regarding wipes and release dates, the wipe will happen once they deliver what was described in the post. They expect this to be sometime in spring. Corepunk release has been postponed by 1 year, to the end of 2026. To summarize, I think they want to follow Albion Online's approach. They prefer to build a complete game before release and support it afterward, rather than release the core game first and add important features later. I remember Albion's early access years ago. There wasn't much to do after 50 hours of playing. They added a lot of content, made it free, and released it on Steam. Now, so many people playing it all over the world. The amount of content is incredible, and I'm pretty sure their business model is very successful. I'm not promoting Albion here, I just want to say that when you're doing something huge like developing a game, you should definitely look around, learn from other games' mistakes, and follow successful patterns. I've left a link in the description so you can read the full post yourself. That's all for today, thank you for your time, and see you in the next video.